What's up, guys? Welcome back to another review of WandaVision. Today we are reviewing episode 7 titled Breaking the Fourth Wall. Or rather, it should be titled Pulling Back the Curtain, Unveiling All the Secrets, or at least some of the secrets that we've been wondering. There's my joke. Anyways, so yeah, episode 7 today, Breaking the Fourth Wall. We had several things revealed to us today, some theories were finally confirmed that a lot of us saw coming. I'll say up front, this episode I think was not as strong as the last two episodes. Episode 5 and 6 I think were like really solid episodes, really great. I don't think this one was as strong as those last two episodes, but this definitely was still a very good episode because, like I said, a lot of stuff does happen and it does go down. So anyways, let's get into it. So, of course, the episode now taking inspiration from the 2000s, so it's now 2000s kind of sitcom. It's very Modern Family-esque, as a lot of people said online. I've never seen Modern Family, but everyone told me that's what it was like. But the intro was very much like The Office. Like, even people point out how, my brother pointed out to me how the theme in the intro was literally like one note off from the actual Office theme. And even like the logo looks similar to an Office kind of thing. Which, like, very nice touch there. There's even two people from The Office who were, well, they weren't main characters in The Office, but they were in The Office. Like, Evan Peters was on The Office briefly as Michael Scott's nephew, and Randall Park was on The Office as the actor playing Jim in that one episode. So, but yeah, anyway, so there's all that stuff. So for this episode, of course, it's like after the events, it's the next day after, of course, Wanda expanded her dome and, like, captured more of this small area of the town. Well, no, she already had a town, but captured more of the area around it. So she's now quarantining herself a bit, taking a bit of a rest after her bit of a, going crazy bit there. So she's trying to relax and not go a bit more crazy like that again. So she's trying to hold back a bit. She's realizing, okay, that was maybe a bit much there, so I'm going to try and, like, relax for a bit. And so we're seeing a bunch of other stuff. She also was telling her, Billy and Tommy, how, don't trust your uncle, that he's not your uncle. So, like, they're, of course, referring to us, like, that's not the real Pietro. They're making us let you know still, it's not him. So, and other questions about Pietro still, which we'll get into. But so for this episode, of course, we'll see the Vision, he's off. He's now waking up, of course, on the ground after he tried escaping from the dome, and now he's back in it, along with also Darcy and some of the sword agents, but now they're now trapped in a circus kind of thing. So now he unlocks Darcy's mind, and they go off on an adventure, or like they just go on a road trip, I guess. Well, not a road trip, they get in a truck and start driving off, trying to escape, trying to figure out what to do now, and stuff. And Darcy then starts explaining to Vision, his life and what he was before the whole dome thing with Westview and stuff, telling how, you're a hero, you remember the Avengers, you were once like, you're a combination of two things, you're both a former AI called Jarvis in a robot body made by Ultron, but now you're a good guy and such, and you asked Wanda to kill you, so you could, like, save the universe, but then, of course, Thanos rewound time a few seconds to bring him back to get the Mind Stone, and then kill him again, so, all that stuff, which, I imagine for Vision, just hearing all that, he's just like, okay, that's a lot taken right there. But yeah, and so for most of the episode, it's, oh god, where to explain? I don't know. So of course, another thing also with the episode is, on the outside though, we catch up, of course, with Monica and Jimmy, and they're now meeting up with Monica's aerospace engineer friend, and to the shock of everyone, not me, because I did not believe it, it was not Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski. It was actually a character named Major Goodner, so not a character from the comics. I don't think that's anyone from the comics. Definitely no one of significance, but everyone was speculating it was going to be Reed Richards. A lot of people were saying, oh, it's going to be John Krasinski. They're going to bring John Krasinski as Reed Richards, which I was like, they definitely will not. Like, there's no way it will be Reed Richards. Like, I just did not believe they would bring, like, such a major character like that just shows up here first. I just didn't believe that at all. Like, I knew it was going to be I thought it was going to be at least someone, but not, like, of major significance. It's going to be, like, some kind of, like, at least, like, a character from the comics, but not, like, on a Reed Richards level, like, a big character. And Major Goodner, as far as I know, is not anyone from the comics. I mean, there's still some theories that potentially this is not Monica's aerospace friend. She is, like, a military person who did bring some aerospace engineer stuff, which I'm pretty sure it's her friend she called. There's also a possibility that she could be, Talos' Skrull daughter from Captain Marvel, which people have speculated also. I mean, that's a possibility also, because I've never heard Major Goodner. It would make sense because she's hiding out on Earth and taking the form of someone, so that would make sense. Then again, I don't know, so I'm still holding out to either this is just who it is, Major Goodner, or it's the Skrull, Talos' Skrull daughter, so either one of those two things, but yeah. And they try breaking back in the dome. They have this big, like, aerospace, like, space rover truck thing. They try busting through the dome with Monica. It unfortunately does not work. It almost gets through. It gets, like, halfway through, but then, like, gets, like, just kicked back out, and now it's, like, half a space truck and half, like, a regular Earth truck. But Monica's now like, no, I can get through. So then, with her spacesuit, she tries pushing through dome, and she managed to get through. And I believe because I think she believes that she is able to get through because she already went through once, and like what she believes Wanda does trust her still, so she's able to get through like that. So, and she does. So she gets through the dome, and for this really interesting and cool shot, we see her just kind of like pushing her way into the dome still, and we hear voices in her head. We hear, of course, her mom. We hear Captain Marvel. We hear Nick Fury. So all that stuff, and we see in this scene now when she comes out, she now has her powers now from the comics. So of course I mentioned in prior reviews, and so Monica in the comics is a character. She is a superhero named Photon or Spectrum. She's had a few different names. At one point she was also Captain Marvel. She was one of the few people who used that name. But she's mostly either Photon or Spectrum, one of those two names. And so, of course, when she gets inside the dome now, of course, her spacesuit's fine. It's not changed. She still has her memory. She's not being changed into this sitcom kind of thing. You know, and her eyes glow blue. She can see, like, this weird kind of spectrum around the world a bit. And when she does go to Wanda and confront her, telling her all the situation that's happening, Wanda tries like eating her again, and she lifts her up on the ground and like slams her down, but then she does like a superhero landing and lands, and you see like an energy effect on her. So she definitely has her powers now, and it seems that she's kind of not really that freaked out by it, because there's a lot of theories that, because we knew from just last episode that the dome was changing her on a molecular level, so she was gaining these powers possibly, and even a prior episode was even hinting at possibly like her body was changing and she might get these powers. And a lot of people theorize that she potentially might already know about these powers, and she might have already had them, or was aware that she could potentially get powers. So I don't know, because she didn't seem that, like, you know, freaked out, like, oh, what's going on? She looks kind of very, very calm and such. I mean, she lives in a world where superpowers and superheroes and gods and monsters are like commonplace, so I guess it's not too freaky, but she didn't look that freaked out by it, so I'm kind of like, maybe she does know about them a bit, because we know she's going to be in Captain Marvel 2 as a main character, so that'll be interesting to see how that whole thing plays out. But yeah, she goes to talk to Wanda, and other things also. We learned that before Darcy was, you know, pulled into the dome, she managed to hack something in the systems and send them to Jimmy and Monica, and they learned that Hayward actually, when they had Vision's body, they weren't trying to decommission him. They were actually trying to bring him back online. So he's a bit of a hypocrite, Hayward, as he was saying how Wanda, oh, you know, she violated Vision's free will. He didn't want to be brought back online if he was revived, if he was killed and whatnot. And he said that, but now that's apparently what he was trying to do. So there's been a lot of theories about Hayward. We already know Hayward, there's something up with him, there's something fishy with him, he's not a good dude, he's not who he seems to be a bit. So I think a lot of theories that they're potentially using Vision's body to make, because when we first saw Sword in episode, what was it, episode 4, yeah, episode 4, when we first got the Sea Sword, he was talking about how, you know, there's like sentient weapons we're making here, so potentially they're using Vision's body to create sentient weapons. So there's a lot of theories about what could be going down with Hayward and why he wants Vision. That makes sense why he was tracking Vision's body, because he wanted to use him to bring back a line for some nefarious purpose. So it's very interesting what's happening with Hayward there, so it's very intriguing. Of course, as the episode goes on, we also see, of course, Agnes, she watches over Billy and Tommy for the time being, you know, lets Wanda have, like, some time to herself. And Wanda, we start seeing, like, potentially she's losing even more of a grip on reality, which I'm pretty sure is what's happening, because like her whole home keeps shifting around to like different things. Like, you know, her kids, like, they were playing on, I think they were playing on an Xbox or PlayStation, or I think a Wii. I don't know. I don't think it was a Wii. They were playing on some like modern 2000s game console. I don't know what it was. I didn't get a good look at it. But then it transformed into like a Nintendo 64, and then it turned into like one of those older games, like with a joystick thing, and then it turns to Uno. So, just I guess like that's the progression. Like, okay, games, Uno, Uno reverse card on that one, and of course like the milk starts changing to like a more older kind of like retro 50s kind of milk carton, which I thought actually when the milk started, you know, changing a bit, I thought like, oh, if she's gonna pour that out, it's gonna be like rotten. I know that'd be disgusting. And, like, of course, the couch and furniture, the lamp, TV, the wallpaper, you know, like, even the stork thing comes back also, like, things start showing up, like, whole house goes crazy. She starts grasping a bit of control of it again. So, I keep saying prior ones, because there's signs of her losing a bit of control of her powers, like how, you know, she couldn't get that stork to go away before. She couldn't make her children to go to sleep when they were babies. So, and now here, more so, her powers starting to go crazy. So, I feel like I'm definitely certain she's starting to lose a bit of a grip on her powers now that she's also expanded the dome more. So now she has more stuff to kind of worry about. So it's interesting. And I just realized something actually right there. Actually, just realized something. Oh man, actually I'll get that in a second. Actually, but of course, potentially also maybe she's not losing her power because of course the big reveal at the end of the episode. So maybe that's not her. Maybe the house is being done by something else. We don't know, but I'll get to that in a sec. Of course, but I literally just realized because literally in the last episode we saw, when Vision goes off to like investigate the town himself and like learn what's really going on, we see that if Wanda's not in close proximity with other people, they're not really on functioning at 100%. We see we see a couple they're just kind of they're stuck on a permanent loop. Like one person's trying to hang clothes on a clothing line, one guy's trying to place a pumpkin down, so they're just stuck on this permanent loop. And then as Vision gets farther away from Wanda, we see people are just frozen in the street, just can't move whatsoever, can't do anything. But I'm realizing here, because like Wanda, when we see Vision, that circus was all they're all functioning at 100%. They were all acting like circus people and such, which of course they're not, but still, you know what I mean. They're functioning at full capacity there. And Wanda, they're definitely far away from where Wanda was, so I'm wondering how are they function? Why are they functioning at 100%? So, again, this might tie into the big reveal, so, I mean, let's get into the big reveal then, I guess, that happens in the episode. So, of course, Wanda actually talking to Monica, and Monica's trying to explain to her all this weird stuff, like Hayward was, doing stuff with Vision, he was trying to bring him back online and stuff, and being very shady and such, and he wanted to kill you, not me. I don't know what the Pietro thing is, we don't know what that is. And then Agnes comes in to grab Wanda, tells Monica, I think you overstayed your welcome, you should go now, young lady. And she takes Wanda to her house. And that's where it starts getting weird, So Wanda started asking, hey, where are the twins? And she's like, oh, I'm sure they're playing in the basement. So she goes down to the basement, and then that's when it starts getting bonkers. We see these vines, these root things across the walls, and then the aspect ratio changes back to the widescreen format. And then so now stuff's getting real now, and she goes into this very cryptic room with dark, luminous, ominous lighting. That's the word I'm trying to find. Ominous lighting. I couldn't think of the word. God. And there's there's a book there and stuff. And then Agnes reveals herself oh, Wanda, you thought you were the only magic user in town, were you? Well, no, darling. I'm Agatha Harkness. And of course, big reveal. She's Agatha Harkness. Everyone saw that coming. So no, I mean everyone. It wasn't I saw people talk about how I've seen some people talk about how they treat a big reveal, and definitely the people who don't know the comics will see that as a big reveal. To all us diehard people who are theorizing this crap constantly, we're oh yeah, that made sense. We all saw that coming. And of course now we're seeing Agnes, or Agatha now. We probably call her Agatha. She starts unveiling the curtain and pulling back everything, and revealing, oh, I've been messing around with everything since the beginning. She starts showing clips of her behind the scenes in every the prior episodes, oh yeah, I was there during the 50s episode, I purposely was there, and oh, I was also there, I was the one who put that rabbit there conveniently during your magic show during episode 2, I'm the one who sent Pietro to your house, and the reason why he's there, I also killed Sparky. She ends her, she has a big song number, she's oh, I killed Sparky also, and laughs manically, so now you know she's evil, she killed the dog, so now she's dead, she's gotta go. Of course, she'll see she was interviewing Wanda, because like I said, the show's very Modern Family-esque right now, so Wanda's being interviewed they do on Modern Family, I guess, because I don't watch Modern Family, like I said, but she's being interviewed like that. She's kind of of course, she didn't know, Wanda didn't know she was interviewing her, but she was, she shows that and such, and of course killed Sparky. And it has a fun little theme song where it's it was Agnes all along, or Agatha was Agatha all along. Very fun, and then of course the episode just ends. Ends like that, and I'm what? Even more so than, I think I said last episode, was like the first time in the show where there was a cliffhanger where the show ended, and I was like, what? No, that can't just end there. You can't leave me like that. Even more so here, I was like, no, you can't just end now. What the heck? Like, because it literally, I didn't think we were that close to the ending, because like I thought there was still more minutes left of the episode, like at least another like 10 minutes maybe. But no, it was just done. I'm like, what? I feel like nothing was. I feel like a lot, like, stuff happened, and we learned some things, but other stuff we didn't learn. I feel like there was stuff still not accomplished. Like, I don't know. Like, it been, like, I don't know. That's why I kind of feel like it wasn't as strong as the last two, because, I don't know, just part of it felt like there was something just missing. We weren't exactly completely done with this episode. Like, okay, I guess that was it. I'm kind of shocked by that, so, I don't know. But there's that. And of course, that's not the end of the episode, of course. There is a after-credits scene for the first time in this show, so I guess we can expect to see probably after-credits scenes in the next 2 episodes as well. So, luckily, I've always stayed through the credits every episode, just in case, because Marvel likes pulling those sneakies on you, like, oh, guess what? After-credits scene, so good thing I did stick around for every episode, because I would have missed this then. But, of course, it's nothing that much. It's also just Monica. She's snooping around. She's looking around the house, Wanda's house. She finds the cell. No, not Wanda's house, but no, it was Agnes' house. She was looking around, not Wanda's. Sorry. And she finds the doors to the basement. She opens them and sees those purplish glow with the roots, not the roots with the purplish glow on them. And then Quicksilver shows up. He's like, Snoopy's gonna snoop, and he's like wearing different kind of clothing and stuff, whatnot. And startles her, and she looks behind, and then it ends. So. Which, like, I was surprised. I was like, they mentioned the credits. Evan Peters was in the episode. I'm like, where was he in the episode? And then he was like, oh, okay, that's where he was. So, and then to go on to that thing with Pietro, I guess this now confirms that, yeah, like, we already knew this was kind of, like, not, we knew this wasn't our Pietro. It's not Aaron Taylor Johnson. It was Evan Peters. But now this is more so confirming that this is some kind of thing that Agatha made up or something. But it still raises the question then, like, then why is it Evan Peters? Like, what's the explanation about why he looks like an alternate universe Quicksilver? Like, what's the explanation behind that? I don't really know. Hopefully they explain it, because there must be. I'm still certain there's some kind of, the multiverse has some kind of explanation in why he looks like that. Like, there has to be some kind of explanation with that. I don't know. There has to be. So, but yeah. And a lot of other people are theorizing still that Mephisto still has something to do with this. Like, look, I've said in prior reviews, I'm not really sold on the Mephisto idea. I mean, there's a lot of evidence showing that. Like, even in this episode, there's a frame when Wanda's in Agatha's heart. Now, it's so hard. I've been calling her Agnes for so long, it's actually now hard to actually call her Agatha. When she's in Agatha's house, she sees a fly on the wall, which I learned apparently in the comics. A fly was actually how Mephisto first appeared in the comics, as a fly on the wall. So, I guess the reference maybe, I don't know. I'm just not really buying the Mephisto thing. I don't know. I just don't really see, I'm just not really buying Mephisto having a role in the show. I don't know. I feel like at this point, like, definitely Agatha definitely seems to be the main villain behind it all, pulling strings. But definitely I feel like Wanda still has some villain tendencies in her, because the way she acts in some parts, how she threatened Sword, was like kicking Monica out, and like how she expanded the dome and captured more people and whatnot. So, Agatha definitely has, so I think what's happening, I think Agatha definitely, she's like kind of like she's definitely helping to move the situation along and manipulate a bit. But I definitely think that Wanda still did, I think she probably did create this dome, possibly, because, I mean, she can control it and move it and make it go bigger, so, I mean, I don't know. I feel like Wanda still has some kind of villainous act in this, possibly. So, a lot of questions still need to be answered there, so, my throat, god damn it. But, yeah, so there's all that. It's crazy, it's great, just crazy. What else? Did I forget anything to mention? Oh, yeah, also, another thing, I guess it's a Mephisto tie-in I'm making, but I'm not saying Mephisto, because, like, in the episode, of course, she asks where her kids are, and she just says they're in the basement, and we don't see them in the basement. And that could be a reference to, possibly in the comics, because in the comics, Mephisto was the one who created Billy and Tommy in the comics, and in the comics, like, he took them away at some point, saying, oh, guess what, Wanda, your kids, they never were real, so then he takes them away from her. And so it's a really freaky image from the comics where, like, their bodies are, like, morphed under his hands, and I think that's why he's, like, kind of, that's bringing their essence back into him, I think. I think that's what the panel was. I don't know. I just seen that panel a few times on theory videos, so I'm like, it's really freaky. It's really freaky looking. But yeah, maybe that's what maybe Agnes or Agatha. Maybe Agatha. That's what she did. Maybe she uncreated them for the time being. I don't really know. That's what I'm guessing with that. So I'm not saying Mephisto who uncreated them. Like I just really don't think Mephisto was involved with this. I think it's probably maybe Agatha. Probably maybe uncreated them or has them in prison or somewhere. So possibly I'm just brainstorming here. I'm theorizing. So yeah, there's that. And there's also the Darkhold. Well, not the Darkhold, but like there's a book in Agatha's basement, which a lot of people are theorizing is the Darkhold, which is a. I should have looked this up before I did this review, but Darkhold, from my understanding, was a book. It was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was like a mystic book that was involved with the Ghost Rider storyline. It's a very mystic, ancient thing. And if that's what that possibly is, it could be a way to, again, tie in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to the MCU again, because, of course, there was that prior episode with the Hydra soap, which was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so possibly, you know, that's a connection there, too, so who knows? It's a possibility. There's also the commercial they have in the episode. This is the first time I really like actually picked up on what the commercial was trying to be. So it was a parody on like antidepressant medication, which I recognize those when you see them a lot on TV. Like as we start moving more into this modern TV, like I said, I recognize more of these like references in commercials that are parodying and stuff. And I think they even got the exact same voice actors who does those commercials to do in this. And so there's that. Yeah, and of course, like, you know, they're talking about how, you know, tired that the world doesn't revolve around you, and then this girl goes get the medication, and then she's like, and the world does, and it ends like if we're going like, and so the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it? So it's like, it's something weird like that, and it's like, so it's basically a play on words talking about how Wanda, you know, it does revolve around her. She's like depressed right now, but she's gonna make it better, hopefully, so because the world does revolve around her right now, I guess. So that's what I'm implying from that commercial. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think at least. So yeah, I think I covered everything with this episode right now. So yeah, nothing else to mention. No, but yeah, it was a good episode. I'd say 8 out of 10. I don't think it was as strong as the last two episodes, but yeah, it was definitely good. A lot of stuff happened, but a lot of stuff still needs to be revealed. We have 2 episodes left in the show, so that's gonna be very exciting to see what goes down there. So I'm really curious, like how, like it's so many things can happen. So like what we still need to see happen, like we need to see, because they're still teasing that there's a massive cameo that we don't know about yet that is still happening. So we don't know who that could be still, and Doctor Strange connection, because we know like that cameo can't be Doctor Strange, because I think that's way too obvious, because I think we all kind of expect Doctor Strange to show up now, and now that Agatha's kind of revealed herself, I think we're going to definitely see Doctor Strange show up very soon, like at least in these, he has to in the next 2 episodes, like he has to. So it can tie into Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness. So yeah, all that crazy stuff. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Tell me in the comment section down below, what did you think of this episode of WandaVision? Did you like it? Did you not? What else do you think? Yeah. Anyways, yeah. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned all of you stay tuned for next week for episode 8 of WandaVision. So yeah, I'll see you guys all later. Goodbye.